Hello and welcome to my continued review of the Pokemon Generation series, and in this episode we are going to be talking about episode number 7, entitled The Vision. And yes, I am Wes, the Average Trainer. Now, I know it's been a bit of a long wait for this episode, and I'm glad that you stayed tuned into YouTube and that you've been waiting so patiently for me to do this. So let's get started. First thing I want to mention about this episode is that I'm super happy that they're finally covering some Hoenn stuff. It's good to see that they're not forgetting all of the regions and that they're not just focusing on, Generation 1, Generation 2. No, they're focusing on some good Generation 3 stuff, which is an often overlooked generation, and people don't like it as much. Well, I mean, they like it more now that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are out, but before that, those who were clamoring for the remakes were really the vocal minority, honestly. Another thing about this episode that I enjoyed is that the voices seem very fitting for these characters, especially Tabitha's. I'm enjoying this English dub interpretation of the different characters. I kind of want to see what the voices are in Japanese, just to compare and contrast a little bit. But overall, I think they're doing a good job. Some of the voices seem a little bit stilted, maybe not as interesting, or maybe they're overacting, but I thought this episode was definitely interesting in that regard. Now, the main character in this episode is Courtney, it seems, because she's the one that has the vision. Courtney seems pretty completely dedicated to Maxie's vision, almost in a cult-like manner. It's really creepy the way she talks. And, you have to give props to the English dub actress for that, because she got a creepy factor going on, like, for reals. And she has this vision of Primal Groudon destroying the entire environment around them and killing Team Magma members, and for a second you think, oh, this might be, shaking her confidence in what Maxie is doing, but that's very temporary, and she snaps back real quick when she starts to fight against Brendan. Again, almost in a cult-like manner. But you don't even get to see that fight against Brandon. That was kind of weird. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot going on in this episode. They spent like 2.5 minutes just launching the stupid submarine. It was just a really strange episode. I would have assumed, like I mentioned earlier, that the vision would have caused Courtney to have doubts, but she seems to go all in, even more so. Even with the thought of her comrades being killed. She's a creeper. There's not really much else to say, honestly. It really wasn't my favorite episode overall. In fact, I might be a little bit disappointed. Although Tabitha's voice was awesome, and very fitting. That's about all I have to say. Honestly, pretty short episode, but there isn't much to say. It wasn't stupendous. It wasn't really one that I would remember. The only thing I remember is that Courtney is creepy. That's about all you need to know. Archie was kind of cool. No, not Archie. Maxie. I'm confusing that with the next episode. Maxie's kind of cool. He seems pretty calm and collected, and you could tell that he had that little megastone up near his glasses, or goggles, or whatever you call it. A scouter. Maybe it's a scouter. But anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. It was a thing. This episode was a thing. So anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, stay average. Goodbye.